All right, ready to dive into some seriously wild tech rumors?
I'm always up for a good tech mystery.
Well, this one's a doozy. We're talking about the infamous Tesla phone, the one that's supposedly gonna crush iPhones and Androids.
Ah, yes, the mythical Tesla phone. We've
Yeah,
been seeing those rumors popping up everywhere.
exactly. And you guys sent in a ton of sources for us to unpack. Articles, social media posts, even a piece on Mount Bonnell.
Mount Bonnell. That's a website about Austin, Texas, right?
Yeah. Seems like the Tesla phone rumors are reaching all corners of the internet. Some are claiming it's real, some are debunking it, others are just going wild with speculation.
It's a fascinating mix of hype, hope, and maybe a little bit of wishful thinking.
Our mission today is to sort through all of it, figure out what's fact, what's fiction, and why this rumor has taken on a life of its own.
It's like a digital detective story. We've got clues scattered all over the internet, and we need to piece them together.
So let's start with the basics. What are people actually saying about this supposed Tesla phone? What are the key claims?
Well, a lot of the social media posts are claiming Elon Musk has already announced this incredible phone. They even have a price tag. $299.
$299. That's way cheaper than any flagship phone out there.
Right, and that just adds to the frenzy. It's like people are already picturing this super affordable, super advanced phone in their hands.
And what about the features? What kind of tech are they saying this phone is going to have?
Oh, they're going all out. We're talking satellite internet through Starlink, solar charging, advanced AI.
Whoa, hold on. Satellite internet on a phone, is that even possible?
Well, it's not mainstream yet, but it is something SpaceX has been working on. Remember, they've already launched satellites specifically designed to communicate directly with cell phones.
So it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. It would be pretty revolutionary, though. Imagine having internet access anywhere on the planet.
It would be a game changer, especially for people in remote areas. But it's a huge technical undertaking, not to mention the logistical and regulatory hurdles.
Okay, so satellite internet is a maybe. What about those other features? Solar charging, AI.
Solar charging is definitely something we're seeing more of in the tech world. It's not mainstream yet, but companies are experimenting with it.
Right, and given Tesla's focus on renewable energy, it would make sense for them to explore that avenue. It aligns perfectly with their brand.
Exactly. And as for AI, well, that's already becoming a core part of our smartphones. It's used for everything from voice assistants to camera features. So it's not a stretch to imagine a Tesla phone pushing those boundaries even further.
So we've got some intriguing possibilities here, but let's not forget, all of this is based on rumors and speculation. There's no official word from Tesla, right?
Right. And that's where those fact-checking articles you sent come in. PolitiFact and AAP Fact Check, they've both looked into these claims. And guess what? They haven't found any evidence to support an official announcement from Elon Musk or Tesla.
So it's all just hype, no substance.
Well, not quite. Remember that Joe Rogan interview from last month?
Yeah, the one where Musk talked about Apple and Google.
Exactly. He actually addressed the Tesla phone rumors directly. He said, and I quote, "We're not making a phone unless they force our hand."
Force our hand. That sounds like there's a bit of a backstory there. What did he mean by that?
Well, he was talking about the possibility of Apple and Google taking actions that would essentially push Tesla into making a phone. Like, what if they banned Twitter, or X as it's called now, from their app stores?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of tension between Musk and those tech giants, especially when it comes to content control. He even tweeted back in 2022 that he'd consider making a phone if Apple and Google ever banned Twitter.
Yeah, that tweet definitely adds another layer to this whole saga. Even if a Tesla phone is a last resort in Musk's mind, that one statement keeps the possibility alive.
It's like a seed that's been planted and now it's sprouting all these rumors.
Exactly. And even though Musk has denied the rumors, he's also known for being a bit of a showman.
True. He likes to keep people guessing. So we've got these swirling rumors, denials from the man himself, and a whole lot of speculation. What do you think is fueling this obsession with a Tesla phone? Why are people so captivated by this idea?
Well, I think part of it is Musk's reputation. He's seen as a disruptor and innovator. He turned the electric car industry on its head, so it's not a huge leap to think he might shake up smartphones, too.
But that's a good point. People are primed to believe he could pull it off.
Right, and then there's the whole Tesla ecosystem. They already have the cars, the solar panels, Starlink. It's not hard to imagine a phone seamlessly integrating with all of that.
It's like completing the set. The phone becomes the missing piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. And that's why some of the speculation has gotten pretty wild. We're talking about things like Neuralink integration.
Neuralink, that's the brain-computer interface, right?
Yeah.
As in controlling your phone with your thoughts.
Yeah, that's the idea. And then there's talk of a phone that can mine cryptocurrency or has a Marscoin wallet built in.
Wow, that's getting pretty futuristic. It sounds like some people are letting their imaginations run wild.
It definitely taps into that desire for the next big thing, for technology that pushes the boundaries of what's possible.
It's like we're craving a glimpse into the future, even if that future might not actually exist, or at least not yet. But here's where things take a bit of a darker turn. The Tesla phone rumors aren't just harmless fun, are they? The spread of misinformation raises some serious questions about how we navigate the online world.
You're absolutely right. We can't just dismiss this as harmless hype. These rumors have real consequences. Think about those AI-generated images of Musk holding this imaginary phone.
Oh yeah, I saw those. They were incredibly realistic.
Exactly. And that's the problem. They blur the lines between reality and fiction. People see those images, and they might believe they're seeing actual evidence of this phone.
It's a stark reminder of how easily fabricated content can spread online. And it's not just images. We have to be wary of all types of information, especially when it comes to tech news.
Absolutely. It's a constant game of separating fact from fiction. And even when we do find information from reputable sources, we still have to consider the context.
Totally. Context is everything. And speaking of context, I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
Oh, you mean the fact that there's already a company called Tesla that makes phones?
Wait, what? I thought we established that there's no actual Tesla phone.
Well, there's a twist. There's another company, completely separate from Elon Musk's Tesla, that's been making and selling phones under the Tesla brand for a while now.
You're kidding. So all this time we've been talking about a mythical phone, there's been a real Tesla phone out there just flying under the radar.
Exactly. And it just goes to show you how easy it is to get caught up in the hype and overlook some key details.
Okay, now my head is spinning. 2 Teslas, 2 phones, one real, one not. This is getting complicated.
It is. But it's also a good reminder that we need to be careful about the information we consume online. We can't just glance at a headline or a social media post and assume we have the whole story. We need to check sources, look for evidence, and think critically about what we're seeing.
It's like we need to develop a built-in BS detector for the internet. But that brings up another interesting question. If Tesla, Elon Musk's Tesla, could technically make a phone, why wouldn't they?
That's a great point. This goes beyond just the technical capability. We have to consider Tesla's business strategy. They're already pouring resources into electric vehicles, renewable energy, space exploration. These are massive, capital-intensive industries.
So diving into smartphone development, something entirely new for them, could be a risky move. They could end up spreading themselves too thin.
That's one way to look at it. And let's not forget about the competition. The smartphone market is a battlefield, dominated by giants like Apple and Samsung, who invest billions in research and development.
It's not just about making a cool phone. It's about going head-to-head with the titans of the industry.
Exactly. And those profit margins on smartphones, they're not as hefty as people might think. Tesla might be better off focusing on areas where they already have a strong foothold, where they're leading the charge.
Okay, so we've debunked the rumors and considered the business angle, but now I'm even more curious. If Tesla did throw their hat in the ring, what would a Tesla phone actually look like? What would it take to get people to ditch their iPhones and Androids and switch?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen these hints in the speculation. Satellite connectivity, brain-computer interfaces, seamless integration with other devices. But they're just that hints. They're not fleshed out in a way that screams Tesla to me.
I hear you. It would need to be more than just a bunch of cool features slapped together. It would have to embody those core Tesla values, right? Sustainability, innovation, pushing those boundaries, making a real statement. It would need to feel like a giant leap forward, not just a slightly better version of what we already have.
You're getting it. Forget just slapping a Tesla logo on a phone. What would make it truly Tesla? Something revolutionary, something that disrupts the entire industry. That's the real challenge, and I think it's a question worth pondering.
Ooh, now you're giving me homework. I love it. I'm going to need some time to process all of this, but I'm definitely hooked.
That's the beauty of these deep dives. It's not just about finding answers. It's about sparking new questions and exploring those what-if scenarios. It's about igniting that curiosity.
You've definitely done that today. This is just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? We've still got the other Tesla phone to unpack, and who knows what other insights we'll uncover along the way.
Exactly. There's always more to explore. So even with those denials from Elon Musk himself, it's amazing how these rumors just keep swirling.
It really makes you think, like, why are people so obsessed with this idea of a Tesla phone?
I think it taps into something deeper, a real desire for something different in the smartphone world.
Yeah, like a phone that's less expensive, offers better privacy, maybe one that's not controlled by the big tech companies. It's almost like this collective wish.
It's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
This Tesla phone has almost become a symbol representing that desire for something new and disruptive.
And it's not just the idea of the phone itself, but the way these rumors spread. It highlights that darker side of the internet, how easily misinformation takes root and just grows.
You're right, like those AI-generated images of Musk holding that non-existent phone. I mean, that was wild.
I know. It was incredibly realistic.
It makes you wonder, what's the motivation behind that,
Yeah.
Is it harmless fun or something more calculated?
Right, like driving traffic to shady websites or even trying to manipulate stock prices.
It definitely raises some red flags, and it's a reminder that we can't just take everything at face value.
So we have to be cautious about everything we see online, especially when it comes to tech.
Absolutely. But even when we do find information from reputable sources, like those fact-checking articles you sent, we still have to consider the context.
Okay, so speaking of context, what about all that speculation surrounding the features? Some of them are pretty out there, like solar charging. Is that even realistic?
Well, solar charging is something we're seeing more of. Not mainstream yet, but companies are experimenting with it.
And Tesla's already so focused on renewable energy.
Right. It aligns perfectly with their brand.
What about that Starlink connectivity for a phone? That one seems pretty far out there.
It's definitely interesting, especially with all the progress SpaceX is making with satellite-based internet. They've already launched satellites designed to communicate with cell phones.
So global internet access could actually become a reality?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge step in that direction.
Yep.
But let's be realistic, there are still some major hurdles to overcome.
Okay, so that one's a maybe. But what about those more fantastical rumors? Like Neuralink built into a phone.
I know, that sounds like science fiction, right? Controlling your phone with your thoughts. Neuralink is still in such early stages of development. To think we'd have that in our phones anytime soon seems pretty far-fetched.
Not to mention all the ethical questions surrounding that. Do we really want to be walking around with our brains linked to our phones?
It's a whole other conversation for sure. And then there's talk about cryptocurrency mining capabilities on the phone or like a Mars coin wallet built in.
It sounds like a lot of wishful thinking mixed with internet hype.
It's fun to speculate, but it's important to remember these rumors aren't based on any concrete evidence.
So a healthy dose of skepticism is always a good thing.
Absolutely. Which brings us to a bit of a twist. You know how we've been talking about this Tesla phone that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out there's a Tesla phone that does exist.
Wait, what? I thought we already established that there's no actual Tesla phone.
There's another company, completely separate from Elon Musk's Tesla, that's been making phones under the Tesla brand.
So there's a real Tesla phone out there just flying under the radar.
Exactly. And it just goes to show you how easy it is to get caught up in the hype and miss those key details.
Okay, this is getting interesting. So tell me more about this other Tesla phone.
Let's dig into that and see how it fits into this whole smartphone landscape.
So spill the beans. What's the deal with this other Tesla phone?
Well, this other Tesla phone company is actually part of the Comtrade Group. They're based in Belgrade, Serbia.
Serbia? Wow, so not exactly Silicon Valley.
Nope, not quite. But they're making smartphones nonetheless.
And they're okay with people thinking they're Elon Musk's Tesla.
Actually, they seem to have a sense of humor about the whole thing. I was checking out their website, and they have this funny FAQ section where they address the confusion.
Really? What do they say?
Something like, nope, that's Tesla Inc. They do solar panels and cars and all that. We make consumer electronics and home appliances inspired by Nikola Tesla.
Ha ha ha. That's pretty clever. So they're not shying away from the name at all.
Not at all. And it makes you wonder, why choose that name in the first place?
Yeah, it seems like it would just cause confusion.
It's a bold move for sure.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
They're clearly trying to capitalize on that association with innovation and technology.
Even if it's not electric cars or space travel, the name Tesla still carries a lot of weight.
Exactly. So what kind of phones are they making? Are they trying to compete with Apple and Samsung?
Yeah, are they going after that high-end market?
Not really. It seems like they're focusing on more affordable smartphones, offering decent features without the premium price tag.
Makes sense. Going head-to-head with those giants would be a tough battle.
Right. It looks like they're finding their own niche in the market, focusing on value for money.
Smart strategy. So here we are with these two very different Teslas out there. One revolutionizing transportation, the other making budget-friendly phones. It's kind of a wild world, isn't it?
It really is. And it's a great example of how one name can represent such different things.
It's all about context, right?
Exactly. We can't just see the name Tesla and assume we know what we're getting. You got to dig a little deeper. Look at the bigger picture.
This whole deep dive has been quite a journey. We debunked rumors, explored the psychology behind those rumors, uncovered a real-life Tesla phone hiding in plain sight, and it all started with a simple question. Is there a Tesla phone?
And that's the beauty of it, right? Asking those questions and following those threads of information.
Absolutely. But you know what I find fascinating about this whole story? It's how it reflects our relationship with technology, both the hopes and the fears.
I totally agree. We want technology to be a force for good, but we're also wary of its potential downsides.
Like who controls it, how it's used, the impact on our privacy. It's complicated.
It is. And that's why conversations like this are so important.
Right.
We need to be mindful of those consequences as technology keeps advancing.
This Tesla phone saga, even though the phone itself might not be real, it really highlights those anxieties and aspirations we have.
It really does. And, before we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with one final thought.
Okay, hit me with it.
We've spent a lot of time talking about the Tesla phone that doesn't exist. What if we shift our focus? What if we imagine what could be?
I like that.
Imagine you're designing a smartphone that truly embodies those Tesla values: sustainability, innovation, pushing boundaries. What would that phone look like? What features would it have?
That's a great question. Gives us all something to think about.
Exactly. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
And to everyone listening, thanks for sending in your sources and trusting us to guide you through them. Keep those questions coming. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into the wild world of information.